Day 6,
Hello
Car
and
Audio
welcome to
School.
day 6 of Car Audio School. The school is to teach you how to do your own install, become a technician to get a job at a shop, and or start your own shop if you choose to do so. This is my online resume, and this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. And the goal here is to keep you out of those shops. Make sure you don't have to go back. Yesterday we talked about series and parallel, and we're going to kind of piggyback off of that going into our next subject, which is learning wiring diagrams. So from yesterday we looked at Watt's law, and we talked about power, and then we talked about series and parallel, and series being a single lane highway and parallel being a multi-lane highway. Well, now we're going to get into wiring diagrams, and we're going to think about wiring diagrams as a map of a city, but electrical for vehicles is basically a roadmap of what goes to where and why it works. One of the examples I can think of is the wiring diagram as a roadmap for electricity. It shows you the path the electrical needs to take to get from one point to another. But instead of roads, it uses lines to represent symbols and represent parts like the battery, the radio, and the speakers. So much like math, there's a plus, there's a divide, there's a minus, there's a multiply. These are all symbols to help you navigate how to solve a math problem. Well, it's going to be the same thing. A couple of simple symbols that you would have to learn to be able to read this map to see what goes where. One of the examples I can think about is the IKEA approach. So wiring diagrams are like IKEA instructions for your car's electrical system. They break down a complex system into simple steps, showing you which wire goes where. They use symbols instead of pictures, but once you learn the symbols, it's just as easy to follow. So I got notes everywhere, well, at least on 2 screens, but we're going to work through it. So some of those symbols are color code concepts. So one of the most helpful things about wiring diagrams is that they often use color codes. And just like a color-coded map helps you find specific routes, color-coded wires help you identify where each wire needs to connect. Learn common color codes. Learn the common color codes and you're halfway there. So some of those codes, we'll go into that. You'll see abbreviations like the letter R for red, or you'll see W/R for white with red stripes. You'll see B for blue, O for orange, a P for purple, P/B, purple, black, green, green, white. There's a purple, white, that's for reverse, but we'll get into all of that. That's for like the connections off of a radio. And it's telling you what needs to be what. So even yellow would be your constant, that would go to your battery. In most cases, it's confusing because red would seem to be the wire that goes to a constant or to a battery, but that's actually your accessory, your on-off switch, where your yellow would be your constant power, and then your red would be accessory, and your black would be ground. So it's kind of counterintuitive because you want to run your red to your battery, and you can, but it would stay on all the time. That's what also keeps the memory in a radio, the yellow. So the yellow is going to have power on it all the time. So that's going to keep like a battery source or a coin battery inside of that radio to keep it with all of your settings. Once you disconnect that, everything goes back to factory. Then there are gauge thicknesses. So on my notes here, it says 12 gauge, but they would probably be more like 18 gauge and up. There's like a 22. So the higher up in gauge you go, the thinner the wire gets. The lower in gauge you go, the thicker the wire gets. Then there's directional arrows that show the flow of electricity. So anything pointing towards the device would signify input, and anything pointing away from the device would signify output. And then there's other symbols that represent electrical components. Some of those would be lights, motors, amplifiers. Away from the nodes, resistors, capacitors, ground, relays, all kinds of stuff. And then at connection points to device, you'll often find numbers or letters like pins that identify where the connections go. And these pins are usually part of a numbered connector. So in connectors, there's male and female connectors, and I won't say for obvious reasons, but the male connector plugs in, and the female connector is a hole that you plug into. So that's an easy way to think about it. You actually think about males and females. Males have a, and females have a, yeah, so. I would say that's pretty much it for this section. I'll give you this other part. Keep in mind that aftermarket products wiring diagrams for things that add to your car might be a bit different. They might show everything, every single point-to-point connection, and might just tell you to connect a wire to a 12-volt source. In these cases, you need to figure out the best place for your specific vehicle to make that connection. And then that also reminds me that European vehicles will have different connectors. So, for example, we'll just say the abbreviations will be different for European cars compared to US and Asian cars. And I wish I had visuals, but that's coming soon. That's pretty much it. Always look at your service manual or the manual of the device that's going to be installed. It will give you all the instructions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments. Always tip your installers. If you are able, donate so we can get some tools in here. Mitchell 1, All Data, and Direct Tech are the three that I'm looking for. And these are specifically for the wiring diagram, so I can be able to help you with finding where things are, what color code goes with what for each specific vehicle. So we can break it all the way down to European vehicles with CAN bus, and I mean, how are you going to turn your new radio on if you want to, do stuff like that? Or you can do a radar. How are you going to turn it on and off with the vehicle? So, yes, that is today's lesson, and we'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more. Thank you.